call this meeting to order of the Centreville Town Council this May 16th, 2024. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our military and public safety personnel, past and present. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. All right, we'll move on to the review of minutes from the past meeting, our last meeting, May 2nd, 2024. Have you gentlemen had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Town Council May 2nd, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I guess we do have to vote. I apologize. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Okay, we'll move into the citizens forum, the first of two this evening. We ask that citizens keep their comments to 3 minutes or less. Okay, there being none, we'll now, I guess we got a couple more minutes to go for the public hearing. Do we want to move to?
If you want to move there, under old business resolution 10/2024, the no parking area, that's just on there. Ashley asked for it to stay on.
Yes.
There. We can talk about it at the next meeting. If you want to go talk about new business, approval of 213 road work.
Yes.
We can do that.
Oh, where's that?
I'm getting in the packet. That's the Bramble quote, is that right?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
So I know in the packet, there's a memorandum dated May 10th, 2024, from Gary Phillips. And the document mentions that one agency that was going to bid, I guess, could not get this into their schedule until late fall. And then the third vendor did not submit a bid. So the only bid that was submitted was the one for $25,151 that you see before you. Attached to the letter is the actual quote from David A. Bramble.
Correct. And we contacted State Highway about this, and I don't know, Jeff, if you want to talk, because I think you contacted them as well.
Yes, they said it was within our right of way. Well, it's still theirs, but since we did the water and sewer and paved it, and they say it was a connection that the contractor made, and that's why it was a sinkhole, so they weren't going to do anything with it.
Okay.
That's what they said. So that's where we lie.
And this will be covered under highway user revenue.
I have no idea if this is reasonable or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm inclined to want to approve it. It would be
Yeah, we're
nice
gonna
if
have
we
to do
had
something.
an alternate quote, to compare, but is someone willing to make a motion for or against this?
Make a motion to approve the patchwork for 213 with David A. Bramble Incorporated for $25,151.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I can tell you that there's a contractor coming in and doing the other paving.
Okay.
This contractor, I have all the faith in the world that it'll be done right.
Okay.
Yes.
Understood. Loud and clear.
I was going to say, we could probably get the other contractor to give us a price, but it'll be done right.
Got it.
I
Yeah, that's for
guarantee
sure.
it will be done right.
Indeed, yeah.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed or abstaining? All right, approved. And I guess we are right at 7:05, so we will move on to the public hearing for ordinance 03-2024, the IBC code. Let me just grab that. An ordinance of the Town Council of Centreville for the purpose of updating the building codes of the Town of Centreville and providing for amendments thereto. I will now ask the Town Manager, Carolyn Brinkley, to provide background on ordinance 03-2024.
So this ordinance is just to update our code references. We currently use the 2015 International Building Code, and we are required by May 29th, I believe it is, to update our code to 2021, the latest IBC code. So this is just to update to what the most recent code versions, additions are with the state.
I will now call Gay Adams Town Clerk to present evidence of the published notice of this hearing.
This is to certify that the annexed legal advertisement has been published in the publications listed below. Ordinance number 03-2024 was published in the Bay Times Record Observer on April 26, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will first hear from all those in favor of the proposed ordinance 03-2024, and then we'll hear from those that are opposed. We ask that you keep all comments to 3 minutes, and you are welcome to provide written testimony to the Town Council as well. And then, Madam Clerk, if you will read the public comment guidelines.
This is a public meeting, and we welcome your participation. By attending, you acknowledge that this session is recorded and aired live on QACTV 7. During the meeting, we ask that you turn your cell phones off and hold personal conversations outside the meeting room. The scheduled agenda is available on the information table just outside. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes per person. The Town Council respects and appreciates your desire and right to convey your message freely. And in keeping with that dignity of proceedings, we ask that all views be expressed in a respectful and civil manner. Comments longer than 3 minutes should be submitted in writing. If questions are part of your comments, we will refer those to the appropriate individual. Thank you.
Thank you for reading that. We will now hear from all those in favor of proposed ordinance 03-2024. There being none, we will now hear from all those opposing proposed ordinance 03-2024. There being none, the Centreville Town Council will consider all comments presented this evening before making a final decision regarding proposed ordinance 03-2024. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I now declare this hearing adjourned. We'll move on to the next public hearing for ordinance 04-2024. The ordinance of the Town Council of Centreville for the purpose of adopting a budget for the town of Centreville for fiscal year 2025. I will now ask the town manager, Carolyn Brinkley, to provide background on ordinance 4-2024.
So this is, the council has held, I won't say several, our normal amount of budget work sessions. We're all finished. The council has looked at all the numbers, and tonight is the public hearing, and we are waiting until the June 6th meeting to vote until all the council is here. But just a quick, under the general fund, the transfer to fund balance is at 105,650, and the enterprise fund transfer to fund balance is 151,706. And then also as part of the, not necessarily as part of the budget process, but at the June 6th meeting, Ms. Luffman, our finance officer, will come with a list of items to consider for expending some of the ARPA funds. And then contracts that we'll look at, probably not for the entire amount on June 6th, but just to start giving an idea of, we have to contract those out by December 31st.
Excellent. And I'll just add, I know we've all felt this way, that the budget process went just remarkably well and efficient. And so thank you again to you and the staff, the rest of the staff, for making that happen yet again this year. I'll now call upon Gay Adams, Town Clerk, to present evidence of the published notice of the hearing.
This is to certify that the annexed legal advertisement has been published in the below publication and inserted budget hearing May 16, 2024, was published in the Bay Times Record Observer on April 26, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will first hear from all those in favor of the proposed ordinance 04-2024, and then we'll hear from those that are opposed. We ask that you keep all comments to 3 minutes. You're welcome to provide written testimony to the town council as well. We'll dispense with having the public comment guidelines read again. The same rules will apply. So we'll hear now from those in favor of proposed ordinance 4-2024. There being none, we will now hear from all those opposing proposed ordinance 04-2024. There being none, the Centreville Town Council will consider all comments presented this evening before making a final decision regarding proposed ordinance 4-2024. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this hearing?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And anybody opposed? The ayes have it. I now declare this hearing adjourned. Okay, moving on to old business. Are we able to go ahead and vote on this tonight then?
You can vote on the IBC, yes.
I feel like that's really an easy one, so
I make a motion that we approve ordinance 03-2024, the International Building Code modifications.
is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Anybody opposed or abstaining? The ayes have it. Resolution 10-2024, no parking area, sponsored by Council President Kaiser. As I reflected on the minutes, I was reminded that where we left things as of the last meeting was that we would have targeted enforcement for those spots. So if the PD can continue to issue warnings or whatever the preferred practice is for those that are parked, in truck-sized vehicles versus what should be there. I do see that the spot closest to Lawyers Row has some of the, what do you call it, barrels?
Barrels,
Traffic
traffic,
barrels, thank you. I knew I was going to get it somewhat close. So our council president, who is traveling, asked that we keep this on the agenda, so we'll do that. Is there any further discussion on that before we move on? Okay. Under new business, approval of, we already did that. I apologize. Reports of boards and commissions. Anything from Maryland Municipal League?
Conference is next month, the end of next month. That's the only thing. I don't know that you have anything, Gay, that
Anything from the COG, Council of Governments?
I got a few things. Queen Anne's County is really pushing this rec center, and they actually have 4 properties in mind, but that's not saying they're going to stick to those properties. They could probably build it anywhere they want if somebody comes up with a piece of property, but the 4 they have listed is White Marsh Park, Sudlersville Park, the Cudner property in Graysonville, and the Davidson property on Ken Island. There was a survey out on, I don't know where it was, I guess on Facebook. It says, and take the survey or the county website, and it closes May 31st. So if you want to, they have a whole list of things too, what they want there, and they made us put little stars on what we all wanted, and there's quite a few stars on quite a few things.
Okay.
So we elected officers. Jack Wilson's the president. I'm the vice president. We don't have a secretary yet.
Sherry Hirschberger from
Okay.
the county here will be the secretary.
Here's what, and this thing, I wrote Barclay. I think 20 of the 25 houses left to hook up to sewer. And they pay $103 a month for just sewer. No water. That's $103 a month for just sewer, no water. So, and Churchill, I guess now, Mr. Jack Griffin's passed away.
Correct.
He was they told us last week he was in the hospital, but he has since passed away. Queen Anne, Phil Starkey was elected the mayor again. I think this is his second term doing for that. Here's the big news, is the landfill will remain in Caroline County until 2042.
I'm thinking everybody's okay with that.
And they're also looking at, Queen Anne's County is also looking at redoing the thing, when they bought the property was in '93, so they're thinking, they're thinking it's not the best piece now, so they're looking into it.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Is that on the list of places for rec centers or?
That'd be a good place.
Might be a good place.
Out in the boonies.
Anything
Yeah,
else?
anything.
For
You have anything?
Oh, for COG? Not that I can think of.
I think I covered it all. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. For economic development, we are working with county economic development to make sure that some of the publications that they have, website, have all of our available properties, things that we want to push. So I know there's been some traffic. Pat Fox had a suggestion for Carol on some of the data sharing for that. So that's kind of in motion, and I'll talk a little bit toward the end about what's going on with Creed. Parks Advisory Board, is there anything that you're aware of?
I was just, there was not, oh, it was canceled, sorry.
Okay.
The last meeting was canceled, so there is no update. I was looking to see if there was one prior to the last meeting, and there wasn't, but
Anything from Planning Commission?
There's always something from Planning Commission. They
Always.
never skip a meeting, okay? They never skip a work session, so, okay, so last night they had the election of officers, so Kara Voigt will continue as president, Tim Zuela as vice president, and Nancy Emmerich was elected to be secretary, okay? The builder of the 216 North Liberty mixed-use building that's to be constructed, and it was approved by the Planning Commission last month, I believe. They came back asking for color recommendations, so, which is unusual. There are no requirements for color yet, but so, but they did ask, you know, what we thought would be a good color. So, it took a while, but anyway. The Dahlstroms held a visioning session last night because there wasn't much on the agenda. So we split into two groups, and we looked at the map of the proposed annexation area and developed some some concepts for those areas, and tried to stick within all of the all of our regulations, all the state regulations, and and plus whatever we had in the comprehensive plan. And it just went to prove that we're not like really planners. So it looked like we just wrote notes all over the thing, so it didn't look, at least my groups didn't look like a map at all, but Kara's did much better. So and we also looked at, and we spent a lot of time on that, and we also wanted to look at the Pennsylvania Avenue property to figure out what to do with that. And fortunately, a couple of members had done their homework ahead of time, and they had like a sketch that we all kind of reviewed. Once again, a mixed-use development. There's a road that kind of cuts between the senior housing, and there's a house next door, and most kind of think that, oh yeah, we ought to just extend the road. And it's like, they didn't think to extend the road. They just wanted to turn it into a walkway and then have shops kind of front on that. So it would be a more walkable solution. And then there'd be like mixed use along Pennsylvania Avenue, a park to the Kidwell side, kind of where the stormwater pond is and where the turntable structure kind of resides. So
Is the appetite from the Planning Commission at this point one of looking at some sort of project where we could put out, an RFP to developers to?
I guess some members want to work on it, other ones would rather work on something else. So, but they suggested actually that we maybe just list the property with the county economic development to say it's available, and in general describe what the town would be interested in doing. A mixed-use development, town scale,
The timing of that would be perfect, since we've got a couple other things that we thought were on the county's website and are not.
Yeah.
So that would be good.
Yeah, we don't necessarily, well, I don't even want to say it's for sale, but, you know, we do want kind of, whoever it is, work with the town to come up with something, right? So not just sell it outright and
Exactly.
lose control over what happens there. Okay. And then David Dahlstrom, the local Maryland Department planner, he suggested that, well, he said that State Highway Administration has an annual tour, you know, which they do in the fall. They come visit the county commissioners. But what's supposed to happen ahead of that is they should be talking to the towns to see if we have any, anything that needs to be done. You know, a couple possibilities, you know, looking into the future, because it takes a long time to get any kind of state road project, is if we do annex the property, to, you know, the Providence Farm property, likely we would continue to have Taylor Mill Road, bridge reconstructed, there would be a road over that way. We would get a lot more traffic on the south part of 213 up to Taylor Mill Road. So, you know, probably should be widened, should be dualized there. And also where, shoot, what's the road that comes, what is that road? If you come out of the Acme and you go towards 301.
Rolling Bridge Road?
Rolling Bridge Road, right.
That's right.
Right now, I mean, you can't access that, you know, if you're coming south, you can't turn into there, you can't go north from there, the only thing you can do is go south, and, you know, probably needs an interchange of some sort there. You know, state highway isn't going to allow to go back to being a crossover like it was before, but, you know, but maybe in 20 years, they might put an intersection there, you know, so, but you got to get it on the list, you know,
Yeah.
that's the thing, so.
And I'm wondering, Carolyn, and of course, council, what you all think. We know the state highway is responsible for, you know, keeping track of the numbers. So when we think about 213 and its continued congestion, and if we imagine a scenario where the business park at that end of town is fully subscribed, then we're going to have that much more traffic along there. And the state highway is supposed to sort of reflexively, you know, meet the need as it presents itself. But I can't help but wonder if it wouldn't hurt if we lean forward and maybe in a couple months try to get a meeting with some state highway folks, county, public works, and of course us as Centreville to talk about. Mike Whitehill has presented, he's got some incredible plans that I've seen that have kind of been on the shelf for years now for what kind of that side of town could look like. And so that's something that I would like to volunteer to help with. Councilman Beecham and I have talked about having sidewalks added along 213 in the spots where we have gaps at the southern end of town for a safer, walkable community and shopping center. So if nobody objects to that, I would love to, Carolyn, if you and I could work together and try to set something up where we could just say, hey, what is the current trending that the state highway is seeing along 213? Are they kind of waiting for certain thresholds, and what are those thresholds? And maybe just get a conversation going. Does anybody object to that?
No, I don't object.
I really think it's a good idea. And it continues to be brought up when I'm stopped in the grocery store or other places. The traffic along 213 and the congestion is a topic that just continues to come up. So at any rate, and I know the county confirmed that bridge is still on its inventory. So it's definitely in their lane to replace if that's what needs to happen. So.
Well, they still had the fund from 70 Village left too.
Right.
That was built out in 2017.
Yes.
That is still there.
Just for the Symphony Village folks listening in from home, we are prepared. We expect the pitchforks and torches to come out if that road is extended. So, and I mean that with all love and affection, but.
Well, we have, I think, 3 members of the planning commission live in Symphony Village. They understand why it would need to be done.
Yeah,
Okay? So,
exactly.
Right, it would help relieve traffic.
It would alleviate a lot of traffic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if the road if we can build the road up through Northbrook, which will be another, they'll be surprised when they find out that that's actually part of
Exactly.
a major route through
And if there
town.
could be
Yeah,
access
right.
to not Taylor Mill Road, Courceville Road or Laser Drive, where that's going to connect later in the summer.
Yeah.
If there was a way to connect the shopping center to the eastern side of town from behind, a certain chunk of the community, so.
Yeah, well, it's difficult with the stream running through there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've seen some plans that were just pretty awesome, that Mike Whitehill had. Anything else
Okay.
for Planning Commission?
Oh, no, that's quite enough.
Thank you. We'll proceed to reports of department heads, town manager.
Staff has pretty much completed all sessions for open enrollment, so we're working on our new system, Centrally HR. There are 2 ribbon cuttings taking place on the 22nd at 410, the Liberty Shop, the one here on the corner, and at 4:30, Uno Mas will have their ribbon cutting, both on the 22nd, on Wednesday. And then I know the council received this email, but and we are going to send it out in an email blast, but I just wanted to quickly read through the email we received from State Highway for the paving that's going to be starting on the 28th of May. They will resurface sections of Maryland 18 and Maryland 213. Maryland 18 from Postal Road to the ramps to from eastbound US 50, exit 41, for a total of 1.6 miles, and 213 from Gravel Run to Centreville to Purple Martin Road, total 1.6. So both locations will be night work from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., Sunday nights through Friday mornings. Work will include patching, paving, milling, patching, paving, striping, and drivers should expect single-lane closures and flagging. Crews will start milling Maryland 18 on Tuesday night of the 28th, then move the milling operation to Maryland 213 while Maryland 18 is being paved. Work hours may be adjusted as needed to accommodate traffic. With good weather, each location should take about 2 weeks to complete, and their contractor is Alan Myers. So you can contact SHA if you have any questions.
Anything else?
That's it.
Chief of Police, are you?
Sorry.
I do believe
I
we
just
have a
wanna make sure
report
I-
in front of us.
Still
Thank you for that.
I don't have much to add, other than, the council had requested additional data points on the monthly review that we submit to the council. And if you have it in front of you, if you take a look, there's highlighted in a blue section, and it pertains to the speed trailer, which we place in certain locations around town where we get citizen complaints of speeds. 2 of the most recent locations over the last 2 months, one was Symphony Village, the other was Green Street area. Both were posted up for approximately 3 weeks at each location. However, it only gathered roughly 15 days of data at each location, is all we could squeeze out of it. We've had several painstaking issues with that apparatus, which we tried to rectify with the company itself to no avail. But what we've managed to extract from it is this data here at each location for the council to take a look at. And if they have any questions about it, I'd be certainly more than happy to answer it. This will be something with every monthly report. Any locations that we may put the speed trailer, as long as it's up and running, will be added to this data point here.
That's great. Thank you. I know that was, of course, a suggestion at the last meeting.
Exactly. So,
And I like to point out that some of the good news in here, of course, is the fact that we continue to have few to none juvenile arrests. So this speaks to the safety of this community. Some parents are doing a good job. Any questions or comments from the council on the report?
No, I don't have any questions.
And we, of course,
Notice-
want to.
I got a question about the speed trailer. I know you've been having problems with it, correct?
yes, sir.
Do you think we need to be looking at another speed trailer?
In my professional opinion, yes. This speed trailer was purchased, obviously, before my time in this position. However, we have ran into multiple issues with this piece of equipment. In a perfect world, if this piece of equipment operated as it should, it'd be great. It's a VVS board, it's a speed radar. It takes photographs of the speeding vehicles. At this point, it has alarms and alerts to see if anybody tries to steal the trailer, things of that nature, none of which work.
Oh,
The company said it had a 1-year warranty on it, and they're not willing to fix anything. And if we have to fix it, we have to fix it ourselves. They'll be willing to send the part to us, but we have to fix it ourselves.
Am I correct that they're some of the parts are very hard to get these days. So
Yes.
It's not going to be serviceable.
100% correct. So the very last thing that we purchased was a SIM card, which is part of the motherboard, which allows it to communicate with their web server, and that's how we get our information from the trailer, extract the data. We've replaced that, and still to this day, it worked for maybe 2 weeks, and now we're lost communication with it again. It's not providing data, and pretty much it's a useless piece of equipment at this point. So the police department is looking at other options, other vendors, things that could provide us with the same availability of a VBS board, speed monitoring, and things of that nature, a similar item at a similar cost, if we can.
What's the rough order of magnitude on those for a brand new?
That one, brand new, was between 17 and 19,000.
I was
Okay,
thinking
I was going to guess
about
20.
17.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the price has probably been adjusted over the last few years. So I haven't priced them out, but I'm sure it's going to come in roughly between 20, 22 to get something somewhat decent.
I, for one, like similar to the Public Works memos that are done, unless anybody else objects, I think it would be great to get a set of quotes on
Absolutely.
several options, and if that could come back before us.
It's a highly requested piece of equipment throughout town. I mean, obviously, speed is forever going to be an issue no matter where you're at.
Right.
So, I
Not
mean,
like
for us
it
to be able
won't
to
get used.
monitor and provide data to the council, the citizens, and give them some feedback as to what they're experiencing in their area, it's a great tool when it works. So I would like to think that we could provide them a better quality equipment and get them the proper data.
Check other entities around and see what they use.
I have talked to a few other police departments and municipalities to see what type of equipment they use. The unfortunate part is that a few locally use the same piece of equipment, and I found out they're experiencing the same problems we are. So there's a radar company that we use for our in-car radar devices. They provide and have been producing a similar model with similar features. So I'm going to speak to that rep here in the next couple of weeks when he becomes available and see what we can work out with.
Can you check the warranty on it too, make sure?
At least,
I certainly can,
yeah,
yeah.
at least make sure they can maintain it. You know, so.
Maybe 3-year warranty
I
at
have
least.
to purchase the extended warranty or.
Yeah,
I'll be sure to put that in the proposal.
That would be great.
yes.
And then
Thank you for the question.
I think we also would like to join in welcoming Officer, is it Eveland? Is that how you say
Yes.
that?
Yeah, so Officer Howard Evelyn, he was formerly of Chestertown Police Department. He had resigned his commission there and ultimately had gone into private sector. I reached out to him because I had heard that he may be interested in coming back into the line of law enforcement. And after a few conversations, he agreed to apply, and we are, to this day, we just got him out of field training. So he's now on the road for the town of Centreville.
Back to full staff.
We are back to full staff, yes. Yes.
That was going to be my next question. That's awesome.
Let's see, we were down come February, and so it took us to the beginning of May to get back up. So,
And then Laura sent an email about is it National Night Out that's coming up?
yes, and forgive me, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's August 6th. I can verify that for you. But we've already started getting the vendors aligned. We've reached out to allied agencies. Everybody's starting to respond back already as to, their participation. So I think it's going to be, every year's been a little bit bigger, a little bit better. And I think this year's going to prove to be the same, so.
And I owe her an email back, but we'll do arcade games and some other activities again.
Outstanding,
So,
outstanding. Thank you for that.
anything else, Chief?
Not at this time.
Other questions, comments? All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate all you're doing. Great. Madam Clerk, anything from you?
No, sir, not at this time.
Great. We'll move to our second citizens forum for the evening. We ask that citizens keep their comments to 3 minutes. All right. Council roundtable. We'll begin with Councilman Keel.
I just want to thank DPW for doing what they do, because they fixed a lot of water leaks around town. I called him the other day about one that he fixed previously. He was on the other street fixing another one. He said, I'll get back to that one tomorrow. They fixed the valve out here on Broadway, and they also turned the other one off, I do believe. The one that was causing a leak in the firehouse that nobody knew about. So I want to personally thank them for doing what they do.
We will
Excellent.
pass that on.
I second that. That is awesome. Councilman Worth.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Ashley and I talked about Creed updates, and because it is a nonprofit and not the official arm of the town, that's probably better for me to provide specific updates to that under the council roundtable. And then as we move in the direction of having Creed come in and brief more formally on its work, which we're going to do at kind of like the 6-month point, so that would be about 3 or 4 months from now. But in the meantime, I did just want to mention that one of the projects that has a committee working on is the Affordable and Sustainable Housing Initiative, where we're specifically looking at tiny homes for veterans and for senior citizens in what would be sort of adjacent villages with some resources on site, medical and otherwise. We believe Secretary Jake Day here in the state of Maryland under Governor Moore is going to be completely on board to potentially help with some funding. We're not quite there, but we have a conference call scheduled with him coming up. And then the other project that we're still in a very exploratory phase would be an indoor farmers market. And as I shared with our town manager prior to our meeting starting, when I get a group of folks together from the outdoor farmers market, those that are passionate about that, to kind of get ideas and get folks' take on this indoor farmers market concept, and make sure folks know that we're just looking for feedback at this point. Nothing's been decided, but just very conceptual, but a lot of interest growing around it, and a lot of vendors, potential vendors, that want to see something like that and have committed without even having a business plan in front of them. So there's definitely some enthusiasm there, and Creed is just chugging along. That's all I have tonight. Unless there's anything else before us, can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
I have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
One more thing. I noticed, I think GTI, the system went on yesterday.
Yes.
I haven't smelled anything for at least a couple days, so I think it might be working.
I think you're right.
And I can tell you, if it's going to come to my house first, I can guarantee you. Especially the way the wind was blowing the last couple of days, yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
yes,
is
I
good
haven't
news.
heard, so hopefully it's working, so
Good to hear.
that's all.
Awesome. Can we get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
This meeting is adjourned.